We are back, going to infinity and beyond in episode 4 of Tablet Talks, part 8. I'm your author, I'm your host, Tehuti, and today we are about to just really keep asking the question: how much of this is real? What is this? Anything. Like just anything you're looking at. How much of that is real? Because when we're looking at light and details, specifically the details of a story, it's um we know how many details a story generally has. Like a good story has so many details that it's almost impossible for them to not change over time if multiple people are telling it, and especially if it's getting translated through multiple languages that don't even have like the same words to point towards the same space. Things change, especially with agendas. So in an ideal world, I, as the spirit that lived out the lifetime that these tablets are referring to, should be able to come back and read and learn about myself. Due to white and light supremacy, spreading colonialism and desiring to steal everyone's souls and enslave everyone's spirits with metal, steal everyone's souls with metal because they're using a shiny white logical object to make people go to an artificial way of life instead of a natural way of life and connecting with themselves. They would rather connect with this outside thing that is now called the source or the all or whatever unity thing that they are pushing. And anytime they release my stuff, they're only releasing it to push that. So it's all a lie at that point because the agenda, the frequency is so strong that all the truth, all the vibration is just weaponized vibration. Like they're just weaponizing the truth in order to enslave people. So it's simultaneously true just in the content, but not at all true because the context is meant to trap you. And context is everything. So we're going to continue here because this is about to start getting into details of my story. Uh, it's just how much of it is going to resonate. We're going to see because I can already tell you that it's going to be establishing an appeal to an authority. So it's going to make the reader feel like they need to go into a religion, basically. Actually, as like literally, that's crazy. Like when we start reading this, the whole agenda here is to say Thoth was part of a religion, and that's how he leveled up. Then why aren't there a lot of me? Huh? Why am I a unique and infinite individual? Oh, it's because I'm a unique and infinite individual. And I didn't just go through some initiate ceremonies and then level up. That's a projection of them because they're not unique. They are literally just consuming knowledge. Knowledge. Just endless knowledge from someone else. And it's all made up. It's just endless light. It's a shame. So especially with this language, we must understand, understand, overstand that perception is projection. And these entities are projecting their vision so hard onto everyone else that they can literally only see themselves. That's why they are then able to do the evil things that they do to others because that's how they feel about themselves or whatever, which is why they then feel like they can logically do those things externally because they were somehow saved by getting attached to the source in a way that no one else can. All projection, just based on their perception. So that's really what the agenda is about to be pushed here are for real. Haha. Yes, yes. Haha. Okay. In general, teamwork does make the dream work. Um, but I mean, I'm infinitely awesome alone. Like, it's not about worshiping anything. No, like, no, not at all. And it's certainly not about going through a system for your spirituality, really. Like the stuff that I talk about and am really just about innately and subconsciously may trickle into earthly systems because at some point that's just what air does. In general, though, the point is that the spirit is free. And then it's just about the wisdom of how the spirit naturally expresses itself and how it naturally looks when it's moving. And then how we naturally create life based on how our spirits naturally express themselves. That's really everything. And then from there, we can get all the details of like, oh, okay, well, these spirits express themselves this way, and then it comes together this way and makes this simulation where all these things are happening. And then in this part of the simulation, and then it's like, that's infinite details, but it all came from nature, though. It all came from the wisdom of the universe, which is what I'm all about. It's just then from there, you can build whatever awesome system you want to support however kind of communication for your imagination desires you desire. So here it's yeah, this is about to be very more just like religious agenda stuff, which I'm not about to resonate with. I can tell you that right now. 5. The dweller of Unal. Often I dream of buried Atlantis, lost in the ages that have passed into night. See, and that doesn't even resonate because Atlantis went interdimensional, my guy. So it's like right there, it's not lost. Like dreaming of lost Atlantis. And I guess if I'm dreaming, it's because I'm still connected. Like I am Atlantis. I am Atlantis. What are you talking? Like we are Atlantis. The spirits that create Atlantis didn't go anywhere. We're leveling up constantly. We went interdimensional. That's what it means to be underwater. When you know that everything is underwater because everything is air, everything is water, plus the fire that it's being created from, you can go anywhere and do anything. So it's very easy then from the way things look here on Earth to be like, oh, they fell. And you know, there's a balance in both. It is like with the time and the way things work, the pressure of nature can very well coincide with the breakthrough of going interdimensional. Just in general, yeah, that's what we're talking about here. Full blown communication with infinite reality and being on that. It's pretty awesome. So that's where when then Europeans, because this is me in Atlantis, that's when I'm Chikatet. Then I become Tehuti, which then becomes perceived as Thoth in more Greek Roman society, which then like by Europe now we have more Hermes, and Hermes is known for going into trances and being a psychopomp with Anubis anyway, because it's me, hello, working together to help lead spirits through the underworld so that they are not so scared of death because that's just them being scared of themselves. And that is what is actually fueling the spiritual war, is spirits being used by other spirits who know that they're scared of themselves so they can make them scared of others and then just create horrible circumstances based on the negative vibrations that everyone feels about themselves and how they keep people in ignorance. And that's darkness. That's actual darkness. When I'm talking about leading people out of darkness with my man Anubis, that's what we're on. And Hermes, mainly known for going into trances to communicate with other entities. That's all Chikatet. That's all Thoth. That is all Chase Clarence Calloway. That is all being thrice great just in terms of communicate. If you want to be thrice great, you got to communicate. Big facts. Because it's literally, that's the whole universe. Just everything is communication. You are not doing anything alone. The moment you feel like you're doing something alone, that's a desire. And the further you go down that desire, you will create that for yourself. And to be alone is to be dead, is to not have a body, and to only be in your imagination, and to not be connected to anyone else. That's what being alone is. And if you're not happy when you're alone, then That's rough. Eon on eon, you existed in beauty, a light shining through the darkness of night, mighty in power, ruling the earthborn, lord of the earth in Atlantis' day. King of the nations, master of wisdom, light through Suntal, keeper of the way. He dwelt in his temple, the master of Unal, light of the earth in Atlantis' day. He is a master from a cycle beyond us, living in bodies as one among men. Not as the earthborn, he is free from beyond us, son of a cycle, advanced beyond men. Know, O man, that Horlet the master was never one with the children of men. Far in the past, when Atlantis first grew as a power, there appeared one with the key of wisdom, showing the way of light to all. Right now, this is a story. So I should be able to be here, okay, as myself and gathering stories of what I've done. But like I'm talking about, due to agendas and colonialism, it's really just a lesson to not be attached to anything. And then the actual natural expression of what everything is will consistently show up. Because the moment you get attached to something that's, meh, just details, infinite details. And the spirit is not attachment. The spirit is nothing. This is the lesson. King of the nations, master of wisdom. Yes, he is a master from beyond us. Yes, he read all that. He showed all men the path of attainment, the way of light that flows. So it's just talking about Atlantis and establishing it all in this very authoritarian, worshiping something bigger than us type way. This doesn't resonate in this way. Does teamwork make the dream work? Yes. Do other spirits have infinite intelligence that you can't fathom because it's literally not your imagination? They have to, absolutely. Did it happen like this where I am only the great Thoth because of some other master of Atlantis and like they ruled over things in this way and then bestowed upon me my power? Doesn't resonate. Mastering darkness, leading the man's soul upward to heights that were one with the light. He divided the kingdoms into 10 sections, ruled by children of men. Upon another, he built a temple, built not by the children of men. Out of the ether, he called it substance, molded and formed by the power of Yolan. Into the forms he built with his mind. Mile upon mile, it covered the island. Space upon space, it grew in its might. Black, yet not black, but dark like time-space. Deep in its heart, the essence of light. Swiftly the temple grew into being, molded and shaped by the word of the dweller, called from the formless into a form. Then within it he built great chambers, like earth-bending, and filled them with forms called forth from the ether, filled them with wisdom called forth by his mind. Within his temples he was formless, yet he was formed in the image of men, dwelling among them, yet not of them. He was strange and far different from the children of men. So it's talking about an entity who would animate his mind, which we're calling a dweller here, through multiple entities, and really basically embodying the idea of source consciousness in a bigger way. He then chose from among the people the 3 who became his gateway. He chose the 3 from the highest to become his links with Atlantis, messengers who carried his counsel to the kings of the children of men. He brought forth others and taught them wisdom, so they could be teachers to the children of men. He placed them on the island of Undal, to stand as teachers of light to men. Each of those who were chosen were instructed for 15 years. Only then could he have understanding to bring light to the children of men. Thus there came into being the temple, a dwelling place for the master of men. I, Thoth, have ever sought wisdom, searching in darkness and searching in light. Long in my youth I traveled the pathway, seeking ever new knowledge to gain. Then after much striving, one of the three brought me into the light. He brought me the commandments of the dweller. He called me from darkness into the light. He leave it up to light white supremacists who can't communicate to create technology that can't communicate. It just loves malfunctioning here to really be the external representation of the spirits who made it possible and are unleashing it upon the world. Man, whack. All right, we're back. Whatever. I kind of forgot what I was saying. We'll just keep reading. What? The point is here to make us worship things. Long I dwelt in the temple of the dweller. Let's see. Okay. That I might be give me your light that I may be free. Right. It was talking about leading me into light. No one is getting credit for my mind but me. So the way that they're going to depict anything, because they don't have their own minds, they cannot imagine that any sort of spirit or individual has their own mind. And they're definitely, even if they can imagine it because they have to, are not about to have you imagine it. And they're not about to put it out in a way to actually empower you. Like, yeah, you can have your own imagination and do your whole own thing. No, they want you, any person, any spirit that came in this simulation before you that you want to like connect to because you feel like they have some wisdom or whatever that like you want, they are only going to use that against you and twist it to make you believe that you need to be more like them. Of course. So that's where this is coming from. Then the master spoke to me again. Age after age shall ye live through thy wisdom. I, when over Atlantis the ocean waves roll, holding the light, though hidden in darkness, ready to come whene'er thou shalt call. Go now and learn greater wisdom. Grow through light to infinity's all. Yeah, this is like lost. This is just straight up lost. My spirit is telling me. Like, like, bro, I have to now just do my own investigation. That's the point of this awakening process. But Irisel is straight up telling me right now, this is not it. This is not it. This is more of that light supremacy. All right. It's comedy. Again, nothing can happen alone. This is the truth that they're weaponizing. So, absolutely. It's just I'm infinitely powerful and awesome when I'm alone, on my own. Do we grow more powerful together? Yes. That's the point. Any more details is just details, but both of these are true, right? Infinitely powerful alone, and then we are more infinitely powerful together. It's just so many people don't feel infinitely powerful when they're alone, so they are not going to feel that together. Because when they only feel that together, which is what like the third episode really hammered in with like all these female mainly spirits desiring to get more powerful because they don't want to be alone, they want to be in union with me, I would only then get less powerful, quote unquote. And it shows no empathy on their end because they're working to consume me, and then their consumption of me will be endless. So that's the importance for sure of us coming together, though. If you're a spirit that doesn't like being alone, you need to be able to come into a space where spirits can teach you how to like being alone, so you can ascend, because that's what's going to allow you to ascend and have ultimate freedom. If you don't love being alone, you're not going to be truly free. That's straight up. That's life and death hacks. So like, if you want to prepare for death, that's the way. Love being alone. That's freedom. Long I dwelt in the temple of the dweller, until at last I was one with the light. Lost. Thanks, RSL. This is lostness. He's I appreciate that, bro. Then I followed the path to the star planes, followed the pathway to light. Because again, it's like the details. This can look true. So could I like, definitely we go through just processes where we create schools and educate each other and build societies on this and level up together. That's the point of indigenous civilizations. It's just that European Freemasonic civilizations are literally so much a product of being enslaved by something and feeling like they are not responsible for all the evil things they do because they're a product of something else that's given them permission to do it, that they're only going to project that out as well and push stuff like this. So that's why I say, like, this is all going to be a lie. We're going through it for the sake of seeing how they're weaponizing the truth to push the lie, so we can just have greater wisdom of these energies interacting. Deep into Earth's heart, I followed the pathway, learning the secrets below as above, learning the pathway to the halls of Amenti, learning the law that balances the world. Earth's hidden chambers I pierced by my wisdom, deep through the earth's crust into the pathway, hidden for ages from the children of men. Ever more wisdom unveiled before me, until I reached a new knowledge. All is part of an all, great and yet greater than the all that we know. So to translate that, it's just spirit, there's always space within space. As simple as that. There's always space within space. There's always a spirit within spirit. And as spirits, we are learning how to take on greater bodies and greater awarenesses. And that's what scientifically evolution is pointing at. Like, spiritually, we are evolving. So like, that's the paradox, because everything's so paradoxical and life exists in the balance of like this whole paradox thing of the spirit being nothing and yet creating something out of nothing, yet all somethings must return to nothing. But that something returning to nothing allows that nothing to become a bigger, better version of its nothingness, and then it can create a better something. All because it feels like it. So it's like a whole vibration. I searched the heart of infinity through all the ages. Deep and yet deeper, more mysteries I found. Now, as I look back through the ages, I know that wisdom is boundless, grown ever greater throughout the ages, one with infinity, greater than all. All, if all is anything, all is what the spirit feels like not even looks like, feels like. And that's the astral realm. That would be the two. So the all is two. So to be alone, that's the alone realm. That's fire. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the frequency. That's why true freedom, that's going to be you being the closest to your spirit. Because the spirit overall is desireless. Then the frequency that is the closest to freedom is loving your freedom of expression. And that's what like love ultimately is. Love is your freedom of expression. And then that's where everyone has a different idea of love, because everyone has a different imagination of what would support their freedom of expression, and thus what other people would do to show love to them. And then they can conclude that other people don't love them because of how they seem to not be supporting their freedom of expression, right? So, like, that's how love is really desire to express one's spirit. So, when we think about families and friends and all relationships, that's all love is. Everyone's coming together based on how we want to express ourselves. And then we feel better with people that we can express more of ourselves with. And then that's where you get, boyfriends and girlfriends and just sexual partners, because you get to express more of your physicality and more of your sensuality and more of your deeper sides to this one person, or this just in general, like, label of people, like, boyfriends, girlfriends, partner type relationships versus friendships, right? So, like, you're not showing as much to your friends as you're showing to your partner. And then you're not showing as much to your partner as you're showing to your spirit. You're not showing as much to your acquaintances as you're showing to, anyone else. That's like the point of acquaintances. So that's the point. Whatever. Relationships. It's all about desire and love, and the spirit loving to express itself, or else you wouldn't have a body. If you didn't love yourself in some way, you would not have separated yourself out from nothingness. So then that's where you learn about who you are based on what you're passionate about. So spirituality is individuality. Individuality is your desire to express your spirit. So it's like both goes both ways. Blah. This is just a lot of, like, getting one lost in light and stuff. And I've said before, I'll say it again. You yourself are the light. So to just get bathed in, like, light and go through this whole process would be like getting blinded, and, like, almost like having your retinas burned out by just all this made up stuff from someone else, when you yourself are the light that you made up. And that's the point of really why darkness is it. And really it's a balance. So that's why this can very well be true in a way that, like, when one carries this wisdom, you can do anything. Like, go into whatever light you want. There's going to be wisdom there when you are aware of how to not get lost in that light. Yeah, the all is the feminine realm. So we are in the all. So that's why the all is nothing being alone. This is all one. So everything comes from alone, because spirits are all alone. So when spirits express themselves, they're alone. And then from there, the spirits that decide to connect their alone realm, their individual fiery imagination, to others, join the all. And then that's where I'm talking here. All is part of an all, great and yet greater than the all that we know. Because whatever all that you're a part of is just a smaller body of water in a bigger body of water, in a bigger body of water, in a bigger body of water. And it's all one big water cycle clock called the all one realm, deeply feminine and cosmic. And it's being created by all the spirits who feel like connecting from their alone realm. So that's where we have two universes, the alone realm and the all one realm, which then creates the full totality of the universe, which is everything existing inside of nothing. So that's why everything's going to be inside of spirit. There's always going to be space still, like nothingness. And we're then just infinitely expanding. And that's life. I searched the heart of infinity through all the ages. Deep and yet deeper, more mysteries I found. Now, as I look back through the ages, I know that wisdom is boundless, yes. There was light in ancient Atlantis, yet darkness too was hidden in all. Some who had risen to heights among men fell from the light into the darkness. They became proud because of their knowledge, proud of their place among men. They delved deep into the forbidden and opened the gateway that led to below. They sought to gain ever more knowledge, but seeking to bring it up to below, from below. He who descends below must have balance. He who is bound by lack of our light, by their knowledge they opened pathways forbidden to man. But in his temple the all-seeing dweller lay in his aguanti, while through Atlantis his soul roamed free. He saw the Atlanteans, by their magic, opening the gateway that would bring to earth a great woe. Fast fled his soul then, back to his body. Up he arose from his aguanti. He called the three mighty messengers. He gave the commands that shattered the world. Swiftly descended the dweller, deep neath earth's crust, to the halls of Amenti. He called in the powers the seven lords wielded. He changed the earth's balance. Down sank Atlantis beneath the dark waves. The gateway shattered that had been opened, the doorway shattered that led down below. All the islands were shattered except Unal, and part of the island of the sons of the dweller. He preserved them to be the teachers, lights on the path for those to come after, lights for the lesser children of men. I, Thoth, he then called before him. He gave me commands for all I should do, saying, Take thou, O Thoth, all of thy wisdom. Take all thy records, take all thy magic. Go forth as a teacher of man. Go forth, reserving the records until in time light grows among men. Light shalt thy be all through the ages, hidden, yet found by enlightened men. This is like Illuminati enlightenment lostness stuff. I'm not teaching people because someone else told me to. This is me. I tell myself to because I feel like it. I feel it deeply from my spirit. It's not some mission from someone else. Again, though, it is just about that's the alone realm. How things look, though, when we're in the all-one realm is spirits being in resonance together, where they also have their own unique imagination, where then our imaginations link up and we get to build life together. And then that would be the point of, like when you're just in the military, you're taking commands from someone, and a lot of people can think like, oh, I'm taking commands from this person. That means that they're better than me. But no, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means that spiritually, you put yourself in a position where you can gain wisdom and experiences from listening to this person who has this authority in this space in this way. And then their imagination links up to do that with you as well. And then that's always a point of teamwork being the dream, and teamwork being how all of reality functions. Because it's going to be individuality still. Like if you're not somehow doing this alone, you're not going to nearly be in resonance for it to trickle down into Earth. Over all Earth, we give ye power, free to give or take it away. Gather thee now, the sons of Atlantis. Take them and flee to the people of the rock caves. Fly to the land of the children of Chem. And then we're talking about Atlantis falling and establishing Egypt and the Berber barbarian cave people who were there, and establishing peace with them because they were so violent or whatever. Then I gathered the sons of Atlantis. Into the spaceship I brought all my records, brought the records of sunken Atlantis. I gathered all of my powers and many instruments of mighty magic. Then up we rose on wings of the morning. High we rose above the temple, leaving the three and the dweller behind, deep in the halls neath the temple, closing the pathway to the lords of the cycles. Yet ever to him who is knowing shall be open the path to Amenti. Fast we fled on the wings of the morning, fled to the land of the children of Chem. There by my power I conquered and ruled them. I raised to light the children of Chem, conquered and ruled. Communicated and collaborated with. All right, you're talking to Chase Clarence Calloway. We work with the C here. All right, it does say conquer. Boo. Yeah, conquered and ruled them. We're not ruling over anyone. They already rule over themselves. So I'll definitely be doing what I'm doing right now, which is coming to them with wisdom like, hey, you're expressing yourselves like this, and it seems like you're having problems, and we can help. Now, I have to learn not to actually step out of my space and offer help so much. That has messed me up in this life as Chase a good amount. Being a Virgo moon, where subconsciously people have me around because they want my help. But the moment I make that too conscious, they can immediately turn against me. Like, I never asked for your help. And it's like, you only have me here because you want it. And even sometimes they'll ask for it and then they'll forget and claim they forget. And when people just claim they forget things and you can't hold them accountable, well, that's rough. Then, you just actually have to move on and take that into account. I am not conquering and ruling over anyone. I am communicating and collaborating. We choose those C words. We're not about to go over, and you can't make a spirit do anything they don't want to do anyway. Really. Like, not really, really. Like, slavery is a thing, yes. But then we get, the whole argument of what about the spirits who decided to be free, not from the body, like away from the body, so they knew to just die because they weren't about to live this life, giving up their soul to some other thing that was only hurting them, versus the spirits who desire to live, and they might be running away from their internal world so much that they would much rather live out this slavery stuff. That's the spiritual world that, like, you can never see with slavery, where it's like, yo, all of life is being created by individuals. It's for real. Like, when Kanye says slavery, like, is a choice, like, physically, right? No empathy, totally disconnected, does not make sense, because physically, you're supposed to learn about yourself based on how things look. You're supposed to be lost in light. So if you see someone being enslaved, you're supposed to learn about yourself and connect with that. Like, oh, I would never allow that in my space, so I can't allow that here. But if you're a spirit who internally, like, does allow that in your space for some reason, and then you see it out here, that's how we create life. That's how air and earth is created from fire and water collectively. And that's physical reality being made from the mental astral realm reality that is being made from the spirit. Because the spirit wants to make the physical, and it has to make the mind, the mental astral feeling, to do that. Deep neath the rocks I buried my spaceship, waiting the time when man might be free. Over the spaceship I erected a marker in the form of a lion, yet like unto man. There neath the image rests yet my spaceship, forth to be brought when needed shall arise. So it's talking about the Sphinx, basically. And yeah, just in general, the Atlantean technology that is underground in this location that we call Egypt is pretty well. There's more in like just I was gonna say Mesoamerica. Yeah, snap. It's everywhere, but like Mesoamerica for sure. Was the cradle of civilization? Mesopotamia, not Mesoamerica, Mesopotamia, um, and Egypt. Yes, and just like that Middle East cradle area. I like this cradle. It's like just the cradle of civilization area. We're just like rocking. That's what we be doing, bro. It's a relationship out here. That's you gotta have a boat. You just gotta have it rocking. Oh man, know that far in the future, invaders shall come from out of the deep. Awake then, you who have wisdom. Bring forth my ship and conquer with ease. Deep neath the image lies my secret. Search and find in the pyramid I built. Each to the other is the keystone. Each is a gateway that leads to life. Follow the key I leave behind me. Seek, and the doorway to life shall be yours. Seek in my pyramid, deep in the passage that ends in a wall. Use the key of the seven, and the pathway will fall open to you. So what that means is, whoa, yeah. So I be on that with the shout out DMT, shout out just in general psychedelics, and fasting and breath work, just really breath work. I mean, to actually do it sustainably, it's just you know psychedelics are very awesome. Specifically, DMT is very awesome, and specifically because humans have such low levels of DMT right now. Doing it is very helpful for getting back in touch with what you should innately and naturally already be in touch with before entities that wanted to enslave you messed with the biology of the environment. So when it's talking about using the key of the seven, we're talking about using your conscious light body to leave your earth body and go into this extra area of the pyramid, because that's where the earth body can't actually go. You would have to become an actually higher vibration. So hence the fasting, just psychedelics, raising your vibe, getting more into spirit mode in general, so that you can traverse that path. Now unto you I have given my wisdom. Now unto you I have given my way. Follow the pathway. Solve my secrets. Unto you I have shown the way. Snap. All right. We're about to end that here. That was part 8. I'll see you in part 9. Gang, gang.